Hey, right, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and in this video what we're going to do is build a to-do list using jQuery. So first what we'll do is just actually build a basic, not 100% ugly website to build the to-do list in. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over to, I'm using my little jQuery folder where I have an index.html that already has jQuery linked up. Oh, and we want to make sure we add a defer keyword. Always add a defer keyword at the end of your jQuery. Okay, so defer, and then again a defer on your own app.js script. Cool. Very good. Okay, so style.css, index, app, all empty. And so let's open this up with live server. This should be just an empty website, which it is. And let's build some stuff out. Okay, so what I want is I want an H1. That's going to just basically say our to-do list. So we're going to make this really basic. Okay, in this div is where we're going to have our to-do list. And our to-do list is going to be a UL, so an unordered list. And there's no LIs there currently, so it's just that's it. So let's style that a little bit. So our H1, we're going to text align center. Okay, and then the div, we're going to give that a fixed height of, not fixed height, fixed width of 400 pixels, a background color of black with white text on it. We're going to give it some padding so all the to-dos aren't so claustrophobic in there. We want it not to be all tight next to that H1, so we're going to do some margin to give it some space from the H1. So we'll say 30 pixels there as well. And we want to center it, so that should be 30 pix auto. So that way it centers the... Okay, let's take a look. And there we go. Okay, we have our to-do list and this block here where we're going to put our to-dos. Neat. Okay, and let's go back. And let's actually add a form so we can actually add our to-dos. So I'm going to add a main tag here because I don't want to use another div, so I don't have to worry about like distinguishing between the two divs. And in this main tag, we will have an input tag of type text. So just a text input, and then a button. And the button will just say add to do. Okay, and let's just see how that looks at the moment. I think this will be off to the side. Yeah, so we want to center that. So what we're gonna do, cool. The easiest way to do that would just be to shrink the block. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're just make the main block have a width of 300 pixels, so that way it doesn't take up the whole width. And then we'll center that block using margin auto. And that should give us somewhat of a centered, yeah, it's good enough. I will just do a text align center just to be, and let's see here. Yeah, that looks fine. I don't think we need to style that further for the purposes of this. Good. Okay. So now we've set up sort of our page. So now we need to give it life. So right now we have some HTML. We've styled it to give it some appearance. But now we need to give some functionality that when you list the to-do here and you click this button, that it actually adds it to here somehow. Okay, so that's the next step. So what I'm going to do is we're going to switch over to our JavaScript. So I'm going to go to my app.js. I have jQuery plugged in, and again, I can use jQuery without having to do the funky $ callback thing, because I put my defer keywords in my script tags, which allows my HTML to load before my JavaScript code loads. So the first thing I want to do is I want to grab all the different properties or the different elements that I plan on using a lot now. So basically, things I'm going to be referring to a lot are going to be my input tag. So I'm going to create a variable called input. So let's do let input equal, let's do that in lowercase, input equal $. Again, we grab the element by using the $. So I'm saying I want to grab the input element. There's only one, so it'll grab the one. Okay, so I have that. I want to grab the submit button. So I'm going to do button, because I'm going to refer to that later on. Okay, so I'm going to grab the button tag, and I want to grab the UL, because I'm going to append LIs to that UL. Okay, so I'm going to grab ULs, and that's going to be the UL. Goody. Okay. So essentially what I want to happen is that whenever you click on the button, it'll grab the information from the input and create an LI in the UL. Okay, so let's do that. So the way you would do this is we need to add an event to the button. Okay, so when you click the button, it does a thing. So it would be button.on. That means we're adding an event to the button. Then in parentheses, we put the type of event. It's a click event. So you can have it happen when it hovers, when it changes. You know, you can console log the button, and you can take a look at all of its events in the console log. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll actually do that so you can see it. Console.log button. So let's just take a quick look. Control-Shift-I. And if we take a look here, on the button, we can see different events. Like we can see click somewhere around here. Or it should be like on. It's actually going to be all these on events. So there's on click, on close, on copy, on cut, on drag, on drop, on empty. It goes on for on error, on focus, on input, on key down, key press, so whether you press the key period, whether the key goes down, key goes up, when the page loads. Okay, there's on mouse over, there's a lot of different events. Okay, so you can go here and look at all these possible events that you can use as triggers. So that's very cool. 90% of the time you'll probably be using click events. Okay, so with that, let's go back here. And then what happens is that you can put in the function that you want to happen when the event happens. Okay? So the way this works, the easiest way to do it is to do an arrow function. So the syntax would be parentheses. We're going to put in the word event. The reason being is that this function gets a object passed into it. Like this function gets given a thing with all the information about the event, about the click event. So it'll tell you, okay, it got clicked, you clicked on this thing, all this stuff. We're not going to really need that right now. I just want you to know that that exists. So what I'll do first is I'm going to actually console log that event. So the way an arrow function looks like is parentheses, which is all your parameters. And then we do brackets like that. So this is what's called a callback, when I'm passing a function into another function, because I'm technically passing it into this on function. Okay, so a function being given to another function is called a callback. Okay? And essentially what I'm going to do here is right now we're just going to console.log the event. So you can see that we get that this magical thing called the event gets passed in. I don't have to call it the event. I can name it anything here. I can call it E, which is what a lot of people do because they know it's the event. It can be called cheese for what all you matter. Whatever I call it here is what's going to be called inside the function. Okay. So let's take a look. Let's bring back the inspector. I'll just type some text here and then click here, and see you get this event object. See, so jQuery event, and this has all sorts of information that you can use, like where on the screen you clicked, you know, what is your current target, which is the thing that you clicked on, all these useful things. Again, we're not going to need them right now, but just want you to be aware of this event object. Cool. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to make this real simple. I'm just going to basically create a new LI. So whenever we click that button, we're going to create a new LI. So I'm going to do let, because I got to declare the variable LI equal a new LI. So we're going to use the $ function. And then again, we're going to create a new element in jQuery, use the carets. So LI. And then the text of the LI is going to be the text of the input. So that's input. Now, input fields, it's not the text in the input field, it's the value of the input field. So I have to do .val to grab the value of the input field. So this takes whatever I typed in the input box, puts it as the text of this new LI I'm creating. Then I'm going to append the UL to the LI. So ul.append LI. So it takes that LI and adds it to my to-do list. Okay, and then I want to make sure that people have to type in a new to-do. So I'm going to take that input. So after we've created the new LI, I'm going to take that input, take the value of it, and turn it back into nothing. Okay, so it's just an empty string now. Okay, and then save. So again, all I'm doing is that whenever you click the button, this happens. So let's go back over here. So now if I do this, breakfast. And see, it added it to here because it took the text that was here, created an LI, appended the LI, and then it emptied this out. It cleared that out. That's what those 3 lines of code did. I can be like breakfast, lunch, dinner. And see, we now created some interactivity in our website with very little code. Like, that didn't take much code to do. But what if I already eaten breakfast? Okay, I can't do anything to check off that I did that. So what I may want to do is add an event to my LIs. So then I have to add another event while I'm here. Okay, because I have to add the event while I have the LI accessible to me, which is inside the function. Because each time I do the function, I'm only accessing the LI I'm creating on that go around. So in that case, every time I create a new LI, I'm going to take a second and create an event. Okay, so let's actually just put some comments. This line, we're creating the LI. That's what that line does. This is appending the LI. And then we're clearing the input. That's essentially what that is doing. And what I want to add is I want to add event to delete the LI. Okay. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to do LI, because I have that in my variable right now, .on. And now when you click on the LI, another function, so event, curly brackets, what's going to happen is that the LI gets removed. I think pretty sure that's LI remove. So when I click on it, it goes away. Cool, and that should be it. Let's find out. Let's see if that works. Okay, so let's try. Let's add breakfast. Let's add lunch. Let's add dinner. And if I click on breakfast, it goes away. If I click on lunch, goes away. If I click on dinner, it goes away. And ta-da, you've created a to-do list. And you can cross off, you can add to-dos, you can cross off to-dos. And that's it. Okay, this is a very basic to-do list using HTML, CSS, and jQuery. And you can see here, using jQuery, it didn't really take up all that much code. I set up my HTML so that way I have all my playing pieces. Think of it as like setting up like a board for a board game. And then you just manipulate those pieces using your jQuery. And then you make those pieces look pretty using your CSS. And you can create some pretty cool stuff. You can create, with this, you can create games and all sorts of really neat things. So hopefully you guys found that interesting. Have a great day and enjoy.